Good morning, everybody, and today I'm going to have a look at the Golden Slipper weekend. 2024 it is already, and I'm Gary Robinson for horseracingaustralia.info. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more than this. And it looks like a fair track at Rosehill, and of course Moonee Valley is going to be good anyway. It nearly always is. It takes a lot of rain to affect it, and they're not expecting any over the next 2 or 3 days. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have some good racing, and let's get rid of that now, and we will, I'm not going to save that, and we'll open up the GTX program and start having a look at what's going on. So let's start with race 7 of the Alistair Clark Stakes at Moonee Valley. We'll do the legs of the quaddie as usual, see if we can get another one. Okie dokie dokie. And so Moonee Valley in race 7, it looks like Antrim Coast is a mile in front of everything else, but let's have a look where that information comes from. So if we have a look here in Ellerslie, it ran second, beaten just under 4 lengths in amazingly fast time. This race is over 2,000. This horse has only had 11 starts, 2 wins, and hasn't started at this exact distance. Over the 2100 previously, it didn't do anything else, but seems to have come to life on that run on the 2nd of March. So you've got to give it a chance. Drawn barrier 13. Now, here's an anomaly that I can tell you about at Moonee Valley, and that is if you back every runner in the outside grouping of barriers, so that would be 13 plus, over the 2,040 metres, you would come out a mile in front. So there you go. Anyway, so barrier 13, well, it's usually not great. They don't have a long run to the first turn, but nevertheless, the statistics usually don't lie. So the other thing is you might note here that on our speed map rating, it ranks 14th. So in other words, it's very, very much expected to be a back marker. Over the 2040, you need a little bit more zip than that, so it's going to be a bit of a risk. But anyway, so I was looking at the fluctuations today for Moonee Valley Race 7, and the 2 big movers are number 12 Quintessa, which I have rated 4th, and see you ran at 4th at Flemington, only beaten 2.7 lengths. But one of those ones, pre-race incident, passed bid at the barrier, and I don't like being on those, not really. It's another New Zealander, hasn't got anywhere near the ratings of the other runner, but is more likely to be suited by the 2,000 metres. Anyway, not to worry. So the other one that's been backed in is number 4 Vidard. That's our second rated horse. It's been backed in from $7.50 into $7, so that might look like a reasonable value. Okie dokie, just moving on to race 8, and of course I've given you plenty of time to write down those, that information if you need it. In race 8, I still have Cylinder on top at a longer price than what you would expect. We've got Imperatrix, another New Zealander. It's actually firmed from $1.90 into $1.75 over the 1,200 metres of the William Reid, but nevertheless, Cylinder's performance at Flemington last start was outstanding, and of course brings with it a fabulous run here, a 72.4. That was in October last year, and it certainly performed well enough now that it's resumed again and picking up that race at Flemington last start. Look at the time, 68.8, very, very fast, 33.4 sectional, and came from well behind halfway down the straight. So you would expect her to go pretty well again, and don't worry that she's coming from behind. There is a bit of a margin there. I Am Me, it didn't start when I expected it to, but it's also going very well, resuming at last start first up, ran a 69.6, and its peak was at Randwick in a 68.1. Anyway, Brad Milam takes the ride, and 50% strike rate. So really, those are the two I really like, Bella Nipotina, yes, you've got to give her a bit of a chance. And look, I'm going against the odds on chance. You can't back everything. So, and if it wins, it disrupts the quaddy price anyway. In race 9, very open race. Race 9, the only mover, and it's quite a big one, is Inhibitions. Here it is. It's right down there, so we'll have a quick look at that. And it's in from $7 into $4.80. It was a very nice run behind Diamond. Forget what the full name is. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so the class value though is minus 7.5. The class value of this one, according to the GTX program, is minus 7. Changes from Mark Zara to Brad Mellon. Well, it's getting a few good chances. Second up last time, won at Mooney Valley and was able to win at that. So 1,200 metres today is not beyond it. It's had 2 wins. They're both at 1,200 metres. And its best form is actually at this track. 3 starts for a win and 2 placings. So very familiar with there. Barrier 6 won't hurt it. And yes, that's probably the reason why they've backed it in. However, this one here, Lazargo, it has a higher rating, but it's a very open race. So that was at Caulfield. When it ran second, only beaten 2 lengths by Estrella, beaten again by Estrella at Flemington, but never got out of first gear at its second up run. Its second up run in September, it didn't do that great time either. Anyway, so that's a bit of a odd one. But as you can see, it's a wide open betting race. I wouldn't know what to do here. Diamond Decorator, as we said, it was a previous winner. And it's going well as well. So it's got me that race. If ever there was a race you could take most of the field, that's probably it. Anyway, in race 10, we're looking at a couple of firmers here. Number 2, Grand Impact, which is way down here. I don't know why, because its highest rating is quite low. So even though there was Flemington, didn't handle the wet track, but on the previous 3 occasions, it loved the wet. So don't know what to think about that. It's first up from a spell. Oh, look, he's on it, Brad Mellon again. Bloody amazing. He'll have a great day if all these firmers get up. But number 10, Is It Me? And it's firmed from 650 into 550. And that once again would be because of its great run at Flemington last start. Only beaten a neck behind Jungle Jim. Start before that at Caulfield was a good winner. Caulfield runners don't go too bad at Mooney Valley. And drawn barrier 3 would be getting hard to bet. So I definitely couldn't leave that out. As a matter of fact, probably you're going to have to take these top 3, 4 runners, I think. Well, actually the top 5, considering the rating of Extravagant Star. So Baldino on the other hand was 6th first up after a let-up. But when you look at the run it had there, it ran a 68.5 with its career best. But it was on a streak there with 1, 2, 3 runs in a row. It's had just under 2 months off. 55.8 first time. I don't like the barrier 14 from the 1200. That's not a good one. But nevertheless, it's got to be some sort of a chance. So I do wish you good luck with that quaddie because it's not going to be easy. But moving on to Rose Hill, and we start with race 7. And think about it, was pretty good last start, only ran second. That race was over the 1300, gets longer here. But with 11 wins from 14, I don't see how you can claim anything against it. Here it is on the 1200 here. Ran a 75.8 at a second run up from a spell. Barrier 17, this is the worst barrier position at Rose Hill. From this distance, the further wide you are, it's bloody terrible, I have to say. So you're not going to get a fabulous price about it either, but you have to include it, along with Militarize and NCAP, and possibly even including Tis Invincible, which hasn't done too great over the last previous starts, but did have a good result here, only beaten 2.7 lengths in 70.2, and that was behind Tropical Squib. And Tis Invincible remains a chance with Zach Lloyd on aboard. So you're going to have to go down to those 4 runners, I think, just to get you a good start. Anyway, in race 8, No particular surprises here. I did meant to mention to you that Militarise, as we said in the previous one, it's actually a firmer from 6 into 5 today. Picked up a nice bet of a couple of $1,000 just overnight. But getting back to race 8, Storm Boy, okay, I've been on it virtually every time, but it continues to not rate. It's simply because the form of all these runners is so good. So you've got Storm Boy here is unbeaten, okay? And it does everything. It's going to be leading. It's drawn barrier 2. You can't think of anything else against it. Its last run was, well, it was a winner, of course, but this class had a run of 55.6, but previously the Gold Coast was 69.1. Now, if you go back to Switzerland, so it ran a 60.6 at Randwick and a 62.1 also at Randwick. And the run at Randwick suggests that it's going to go well again today. And of course, that's probably a better effort than the wins by Storm Boy. So on the same day, 2nd of March, let's see what Switzerland was doing. It was on the 9th of March, it ran a 60.6. Compared to the previous week, Storm Boy ran a 69.98. Anyway, overall, on their best runs, this is the way the ratings come out. Lady of Camelot is the other big firmer. It's coming from $13 to $8. And the barrier 5, it would have helped. So, yes, and fully lit, they're all raving on about fully fit, but its best run has been 59.6. The advantage of it is, it was on Rose Hill. I expect the track on Saturday to be, by the time this race is run, it would be a good 4-0, I think. And at Canberra was only 2nd, which was a bit of a surprise, but they are expecting it to improve. Now, Gay Waterhouse has got 7 runners in this. I don't know what you can do about the major trainers dominating these races. Can you put a limit on how many horses from one stable you can have? I suppose that might be unfair to the people who own the other horses, but nevertheless, it makes it a very good chance when 4 of the top 5 runners are all trained by Gay Waterhouse. And yeah, we've rated 4 of them, 4 of the top chances. So what can we do? In race 9, let's have a look at this one. And in race 9, the movers are Osmosis. So this morning, Osmosis, which I've got way down here, so they must be expecting a big surprise first up. It's rated at 63. They're all good ratings, actually. So 4 wins out of 5, very good. Can't complain about that. Its lowest rating has been around the 61 in the current preparations or the previous preparation. And first up, I'm not sure what the barrier trials have been, but let's have a look at it and we can see that it only got beaten by a nostril in that barrier trial on the 7th of March. So yes, it's come up fully fit, and that's probably the reason why it's so favoured. After Cabin, number 5, it's in from $8 to $5. I'm not sure why that would be, actually. I suppose a good run first up, but really it's only a 57, which is way below its best, which was 67 back on February last year. So 4 winners from 11. Hard to say what it'll do. Let's see what the barrier trial information was for that. It won just out of Tropical Squall, so it's no squib, and a Hawkesbury run there. Not so much, but nevertheless, proved from 2.70 feet there up to a nostril win. Okay, so it's fit. It should be able to do something. Only beaten less than a length first up. Wasn't a high rating run, but nevertheless, that's why the backing. So I've got Front Page on top, which is 7 going on 8. Private Eye, I like this horse. I've always liked this horse. It could be ready to do it now, and if you look at the rating it got on the 14th of October when it was 2nd up over the 1200 metres, it ran a 75. Its best form is not over 1100, but it has run twice at the distance from 2 starts. Usually, well, that was the first up run. This will be a third up run, but these other 2 distances that didn't look as if it was going at best. And the barrier 14 at Rosehill is always going to be a problem. Pardon me. Well, got me again, and I'm keen to get this up today so that everybody's got plenty of chance to have a look at it. Buenos Noches, well, it was disappointing last start, wasn't it? Got beaten 4.5 down there, but once again it was a second up run, although it's done better last time. Its second up run the last time was a 65, this time it was only a 58.7, so maybe not quite as forward as that they wanted it to be, but we'll be in the market. The barrier draw of number 4 is going to be a really good advantage for it, and so maybe I'll take the 1, 6 and 14 in this one, and maybe if there being money for it, maybe we've got to include that cabin. Leave it up to you. And in the last race we got Diamond Dealer, and in this race Say Magnifique is down here somewhere. It's amazing how all these horses are down there. But this one I've got a 20-point penalty on it, and the reason for that is was that the strike rate only 1 win in 11 starts, but this was its highest rating run, so therefore it makes sense, and this will be third run up for a spell for it to take that 20-point penalty away. Obviously it's come back pretty fit, and that was a good run last start. Beaten less than a length, so we will put it down here, and that will bring it up a bit. Does not bring it right up to where Diamond Dealer is, however, but it could only win 8th last start. Its best form was first up in January. In the 3 runs since, it's been around about, but hasn't really got the job done, but has got 2 wins to its credit here, and 2 wins in the third this course and distance, which seems to be her best. Okay, so yes, Diamond Dealer will be included. Bellagio Miss, I'm not really keen on 7-year-old mares, but nevertheless there was that rating there before it went for a spell last time. It had that rating last start, also beaten less than a length. So yes, I guess you've got to include it. And Tashi, well, 2 wins from its 3 wins this preparation. Can't knock that either. So that's the other firm, Tashi, so you can't leave that out. 8s into 7s. And Miss Hellfire was probably going to be, well, it was disappointing last start, but it's going to be second up now. Didn't do so well last time, but was only beaten a length. So a lot of chances again. It is a fillies and mares race. It's always going to be tough. So you notice there isn't a single filly in it. But anyway, left to take the top 3 or 4. Alentia is second last start. Had a tiny bit of a let up. That won't hurt it. Is good fresh. 66 first up in August. So I don't see how you cannot include it. So it's going to be a very, very hard quaddie to win. Believe me. But it will be worth it. If you look at those expected prices on those horses, you won't get anywhere near that on Tashi. It's already in. And Alentia looks like it's going to be near favourite. Have to wait and see what the market says. So I wish you good luck. Do subscribe. You get more information. And just by the way, there's for people looking at getting the GTX or already have it, we are replacing the apps here for the prices, and you'll be able to go back to help at GTX to find out how to download the new information to fit into your program. Good luck and thanks for watching, and as I say, don't forget to subscribe and like and all the rest of it. Goodbye.